Hello, welcome to AARP Michigan's virtual event today. We have an exciting topic, Ready, Set, Go, getting you started with your personal action plan for 2021. There is a lot to learn today. We have an exciting guest, Dr. Geneva Williams. She will be sharing with you all of the tips and that you need to get your action plan for 2021. First, for those of you who are on Facebook, we would like you to please write comments. Write your comments, write your questions in the Facebook comment section. We will pull those questions up at the end of the segment and answer all of them. We appreciate you joining us today. So let's get ready, set to go. Help me in welcoming Dr. Geneva Williams, affectionately known as Dr. Geneva. Good morning, Dr. Geneva. How are you?
I'm terrific. Good morning. So delighted to be here.
We are absolutely excited to have you and to hear from you today. Let me share a few things about Dr. Geneva Williams. She is a prominent speaker and influencer with her finger on the pulse of genuine change. She is a change maker. As a sought out keynote speaker, Dr. Geneva captivates any room that she's in. Her storytelling style is phenomenal, and you'll get a little bit of that today. She is an active practitioner in our community here in Detroit, Michigan, and throughout the nation. And she has written a few books. She is a bestseller. Justice on the Jersey Shore is a story about her family. And she also has other books. She will be sharing that information with you towards the end of the program. Dr. Geneva Williams, welcome, and I'm going to let you get started in helping us to design our 2021 action plan. Thank you.
Imagine you get out of bed excited every day with purpose and joy instead of wondering, what the heck am I going to do next in my life? You've got a plan. At least I think you do, because I know if you have one, you'll probably be out there jumping for joy because you know what you're doing with your life. And so, if we were in person, one-on-one, one of the things I would ask you is, do you have a plan with vision? Well, thanks to modern technology, we can still do that. So here's a poll question for you, and I would love for you to answer it. So whether you've got a plan or maybe don't, or you have one, perhaps it needs some adjustment, I'm delighted that you're here. And I want to say to you, hi, I'm Dr. Geneva, and welcome to the 3-part series of Ready, Set, Go. I want to first thank all of you for being here today. I'm just really delighted that you would take some time out of your schedule so that we could share and learn from each other. I also want to say a special thanks to AARP Michigan and Brenda, the Associate State Director. I've known Brenda for years, and her leadership and service continues. So, welcome again to Ready, Set, Go. These sessions today and the one in April. So we'll go back and let's look at the ones that we'll see. The one in April and in May will help you design an action plan for that dream you have for starting a business, or perhaps returning to work, or healthy living, or whatever you choose to do in life. Practical advice, real life solutions that you could start immediately. So you'll be able to create that compelling vision that makes your dreams sing, makes your goals work, helps you stay on schedule, and helps you take care of yourself through that journey. And you know, all of those things, your vision, your goals, your objectives, your timelines, your self care, and your accountability lead to your personal action plan. So, we want to do that so we can help you guide your decisions in your life. So, today, here's what we're going to do to create your vision. First, we want to spend a little time talking about, well, what is a vision and why are we even talking about this subject and what's in it for me? And then I want to share with you some tips about what I call a warm up. That is, before you start planning and creating your vision, going through that process, there's some things I want you to do to get your head straight. And then the meat of things, I'll share 6 simple but powerful steps to get you your most compelling vision. And then we'll talk about what's up next. That is in our next sessions as they add to our personal action plan. I'm excited. And we will at the end have time for some questions. And also, we're going to have the poll results because I want to hear from you throughout this presentation. So, next, a little bit about me. I'm a late life entrepreneur. In my 60s, I decided to step into the entrepreneurial world. I wanted my own platform where I could share what I'd learned, my wisdom, practical advice from my long-lived experiences. I had left a successful 40-year career as a nonprofit executive and leader, running foundations, raising millions of dollars for community initiatives, and helping hundreds of organizations develop vision and goals and objectives and community action plans. So, about 2 months after I hung up my business shingle, my husband, Otha, is diagnosed with cancer. My mom gets sick, and my dad too. Then began about a 5-year journey of caring for them, my parents and my husband, and then eventually burying them and losing my husband to cancer. And we had a 40-year great marriage. I'm going to tell you, I was lost. These were the 3 people I had never been without in my entire life. So I was in a dark, deep, gloomy fog. I was scared. I had a lot of personal grief, and I was intensely uncertain for what was next. I was going through those life shifts that AARP talks about that can cause major big change in your life all at once. I was providing care for my spouse and my loved ones, my parents. I became a widow. I relocated to a new home, and I had started a new career. One night during what was an oftentimes crying ritual on my knees, I noticed the obituaries of my mom and dad and Otha, and I noticed that they each had in common a horizontal line between the day they were born and their death. And it suddenly occurred to me that that dash meant something. It was meaningful. The people I loved were living in their purpose in that dash. And it represented what I loved and cherished about them. And I realized that I wanted my life to continue to have meaning. So I had to do something about it. Finally, I began to crawl and get back and walk and fail and fall over and over, but learning all the time, finding the light, knowing that God hadn't finished with me yet. Today, my business is good, and I'm helping lots of folk learn how to be vibrant and successful and challenge outdated beliefs about growing old. I'm a podcaster, I'm an author of some great books, and was recently named by the National Association of Business Women as one of 10 top Michigan businesswomen. But what got me through those dark days was developing a plan that helped me reimagine what I could do with my life and then put those actions into place to go do it. And that vision, hey, it was a beautiful thing, but the plan started with a vision. So let's talk about a vision. Well, what is it? A vision is that, I like to call it mental picture. The things that you dream about that are in your heart, that you think about, you conceive in your mind. It's a picture of your ideal future, you in the future, doing your thing. And it's something that's important and real, and it just, when you dream about it, it just makes you feel so good. But that vision, when you're developing a plan for your life, you start there with imagining all you could be. Now, some of the benefits of starting with a vision and having a vision as the cornerstone of your personal action plan are, it gives you a clearer sense of where you're going, your direction, because you've thought about it. You've said, hey, this is what I want to be. And so you have a clearer sense, you have clarity around it. It also helps give you confidence, and you feel good because you've taken the time to put together the things that will make you happy, will make you joyful, what you want to do. And the fact that you've put it together and said, hey, I can do that, and this is what I be, gives you that confidence. A vision also provides you with many more opportunities because you dream about them. So, when you sit back and you think about all you could be, a lot of things come to your mind. So, all of those things, why not do it? Hey, so there's your more options. And in going through the process of dreaming and thinking about all you can be, you get some renewed energy and passion with it because it's an exciting process. And anytime you can let your imagination go, think about when you were a kid and you imagined all the things, you dreamed about all the things that you could be, and you got excited about that. Well, it's time for us to be kids again and get excited about our vision. And you really become more productive because your time, energy, and attention is focused now. It's focused on this vision that you've created for yourself. And it gives you a greater sense of meaning and purpose because you've thought through what's important to you, what matters. and where you'd like to go. And finally, hey, a vision gives you that wonderful, awesome, incredible, joyful chance to design the life you choose and love. Yes, indeed. So, those are the benefits of a vision. And what we want to ask you now, you've heard what I thought was important with a vision and what the benefits are. Well, what do you feel is the greatest benefit of developing a vision? Want to hear from you, because this learning session, we learn from each other. So please answer that poll question, and we'll get the results at the end as we move through. Okay. So next, we will get ready. But before we begin to talk about the 6 essential steps to creating your vision, I want you, whenever you decide to do these steps that I'm going to share with you, I want you to warm up first. So if you do any kind of exercise, you warm up. You get your body ready. You get ready for what you're getting ready to do. We can call this pre-planning, warming up, tee up, whatever you want to call it. But there's some things to do before you begin your planning process of creating a vision. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is to find a place where you can relax and be comfy. Because this is going to be an important thing you want to do. So you want to have a space where you're comfortable. And you want to make sure that that space allows for no disruptions. Okay, because this is your time. This is your time to dream and think about and create your life that you choose, design that life you choose. So you don't want to be interrupted, and you want to allow some good time. Now, some people like to say, well, I'm going to take a chunk of time. I'm going to take a half a day, and I'm going to go somewhere, and I'm just going to do this thing. Some people like to do it over a series of days. And some may want to do it, in one setting. It's really up to you. The point is that you allow some time, some good time, and that you're not interrupted during that time. And finally, because this is a serious matter, want you to have fun with it, but it's a serious matter. So be intentional and really put your attention directed and focused on what you're doing. So once you do this warm up, hey, you ready to begin the process. So we're going to start with step 1. Identify your core values. Know what's core. So you may say to me, well, Dr. Geneva, what do you mean core? I'm talking about your core values. What's deeply important to you, what matters, like honesty, integrity, responsibility, healthiness, whatever, those things are that matter to you, your values. Now, your values are personal. They matter to you. So this isn't what everybody else thinks. This is what you think, what you feel are important. And when you know your values, when you've identified them and you know them and you understand your values, that helps protect you against the roadblocks that are going to get in your way as you're moving forward to, implement your vision and do your thing, and all of the negative energy, because, your values will protect you because you know what's important, and that gives you that confidence. So your vision should be chock full of values. Now, you may say, well, Dr. Geneva, I think I know my values. I know it. I share with people that it's really great to go through an exercise where you really do identify your values, even if you say, I know. So here's a quick tip. So, you see a lot of values on this chart. There's fitness, performance, professionalism, diversity, courage, dependability, thankfulness. There's a whole lot of different um, attitudes and traits and characteristics that describe values. So, what I like to suggest to people is that you go through a long list of values, and then we'll show you next, you pick out your 10 top core values. You go through this long list, let's say it's a list of 50 or 100 words that describe values. And as you go through them, you circle or check or put a yellow highlight through the ones that resonate with you. Say, oh yeah, this is it. Say what's in your heart, which you've known all the time, okay? But say, yes, that does it, that does it. And you whittle that list down to 10, your 10 top ones. Then from that 10, you pick your top 3 values. Let me tell you, the exercise is eye-opening, impactful. And when you finish it, you will know your core values. Step 2, look at all parts of your life. Now, you're not one-dimensional. You got a lot of things going on. You are multi-dimensional, and any happy, healthy life is going to have a lot of aspects to it. Things because you work, you play, you love, you're concerned about your health, finances, career, business, family, friends. There's a lot of different aspects to your life. So in creating your vision, you want to select, you want to choose what areas of your life that you want to create a vision for. Now, you might go and pick 1 or 2, let's say career and family, and develop a vision of what you want your life to look like with your family and what you want it to look like with money and how you want to handle money. Or you can say, well, I'm going to look at all aspects of my life and write a vision, think about a vision, how I want to be in the many dimensions of me. Either way is fine. It's your unique choice. The point is to know that you're multidimensional. There are a lot of aspects to you, and you want to select the areas that you want to design your vision for. Your choice. Step 3. Now, I must admit to you, this is probably my favorite step. This is where you get to have fun. I say this is where you go get to be a kid again, because you're going to imagine your future. And so that's about dreaming today about tomorrow, what it is you want to be, where you see yourself, how that mental picture. You're going to daydream, you're going to think about it, you're going to reflect, you're going to do all that sort of good stuff. And this process, this is a no limiting process. You don't want to have any barriers that can hold you back as you're thinking. You want your mind to see what's in your heart, and then you want to create that mental picture in your mind because you want to conceive it. You want to put it in your mind. And then if it's in your mind, that's where it starts. And then it'll help you get to believe it so you can achieve it. So this process of dreaming and imagining and not saying, how could this possibly happen? Don't say that. Put that out. You just don't want to You want to do that. You want to create these pictures, no limits, and focus on the images that you already have in your mind and heart. And here's some starters for you in case you're kind of figuring, well, how do I get started? Well, ask yourself, what's my purpose in life? That's a question that you can lay back and think about. You probably come up with some good stuff. If I could wave a magic wand, I would. Hey, answering that question can open up worlds to you, because what it says is that you're dreaming and you have this ability to wave it and have it. What makes you feel joyful? When we think about life, I think probably every one of us wants to have somewhere in our life happiness and joy. So why not ask this joyful question about, well, what's going to bring me joy and how can I find joy? If I could fail, I could not fail. I would. That means that, hey, there ain't no limits. Hey, the sky's the limit, if that. And if I could do anything, knowing that I won't make mistakes, I won't fail, what would you do? Again, this is all the things that you're reflecting of as you're dreaming and thinking about this dream, this vision that you're creating. What do I do well? I like this question because it helps you stop and focus on your gifts and your talents. All of us have a gift, at least one. Several of us, many of us have lots of gifts and talents. And asking ourselves and writing it down, because you should be keeping a running list of your accomplishments, because it's you and it's okay. And what do I do well? Because you want to incorporate that and build on that and enhance that in your vision. And then finally asking yourself, if I had 3 wishes, they would be, again, this goes back to, I can do anything that I want to do. So in this phase, it is so important to just dream, 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 and imagine. We're going to get to those steps where you have to make that dream be real, but you don't start there. You start at this dreaming about all you can be. Next step. Step 4, write it out. Okay. I hope I had reminded you during the warm-up to have pen and paper. If I didn't, let me say it now, because you'll need it. Because what you want to do is to, all these things you've been dreaming, you want to write it down. They may be phrases, they may be single words, they may be sentences. You may want to write some paragraphs. Whatever it is, you want to get it out of that space in your mind where you've been conceiving it, thinking it, dreaming it, and putting it on paper. And I would like you to take pen and paper first to do that. We'll get into some other ways that you can document this. But the first one is to take good old-fashioned pen and paper and write it down like you were journaling it. And as you writing all down these ideas, and you've selected the life areas that you have. So let's say it's money, and you write everything you dream about that, your family, you're writing how you want to see yourself interacting with your family and friends. As you're writing down this, when you finish doing all that, and it could be several pages, okay, when you finish that, you got your vision statements. It's one thing I want you to do. After you finish writing, then I want you to go back and look at your vision statements and make sure a couple of things are in there. One, that Each and every one of your vision statements speaks positive. So I don't want to see nothing negative in those statements. It's positive. You know, this is the story you're creating. So you ain't going to write a negative story about yourself, are you? Your story's going to be great. It's going to be positive, full of joy, right? So make sure your sentences, your words, your phrases, it speaks positively. You're not saying, I'm not going to, or I'm going to do it because I haven't been able to. No, we're not going to put any nots or no's or limiting beliefs. It's going to speak positive. Secondly, I want to make sure when you go back and you're checking your vision statements that each one of them is stated in the present tense as if it has already happened. Okay, so hear me on this. So rather than I will be a successful business person, I want you to say, I am a successful business person. Because, see, it's already happened. Okay. So, what you see in the future, you bring back to you present day and claim it, affirm it. So, you use present tense to do that as if it already happened. You know, I'm not going to lose 50 pounds. You know, I've in my best body weight. Okay. So you speak it as if it already happens. It's a subtle yet important mind shift because you're acting out your future. You're acting as if you already got it. Okay. And then finally, make sure that your vision statements are loaded with passion, you know, that they give you chills, you know, when you read it, that you got chills, you got goosebumps, passion, energy. Think about some of these examples. Samsung, inspire the world, create the future. Simple, elegant, powerful, inspiring. IKEA, create a better everyday life for many people. Simple, positive, that, you know, it's already happened. We're creating it. You know, not we will create it, create today a better everyday life for many people. Not everybody, but many. TED Talks, spread ideas. You see how simple it could be? You know, 2 words that describe a tremendous energy and mission and really glorious picture of the future. Spread ideas. And then I put one of mine in for my vision statements. I'm living my best life and making a difference every day. Step 5. Okay. So you got your vision statements, you've written it out. It's time to display them. Now, you may say to me, well, Dr. Geneva, you know, I don't want to show everything or you know, but let me tell you why it's important to display it. And I'm going to give you some ways that you can do it. One, and perhaps the most important, is that displaying it is a reminder for you that you did an important thing, that this matters. What you've taken your time to dream about, to create, and put on paper matters. So you want to have it. You don't want to write it down and go through all this and stick it in a drawer. You want it to be easy to see and to look at and remember, because that's what's going to help you. It's going to give you fuel and energy. So you want to display it, and you can do it in a lot of ways. People love vision boards. I'm one of them. Okay. And a vision board is a graphic representation. You use pictures and things to say what your vision is. Okay. And so that's a wonderful way to do it. And you'd be ready after going through these steps. I tell people who just go to a vision party and put together this fabulous vision board, but really haven't gone through these steps, really haven't really thought about what their values are, what they really want to be in the future, etc. They go in there having fun, which is great. But the first step is to create your vision, to know what it is. Then go get the pictures and the graphics and all those wonderful things that represent what you've already created and know. It'll help with staying power too, because I know so many people who do these fabulous looking vision boards and they have them for a couple of months, but they really haven't been able to actualize, make them come real. So it's a first step. It's part of that display. Very important. Another way that I'd love for you to think about is what I call the vision videos. Because today we have so many ways that we can display and keep our visions visible. And using video is one. So you can pick up a smartphone and you can tape yourself. You can speak your dreams. And then you can record it, just audio or video or both, and you can listen. So not only can you speak your dreams these days, but you can listen to them. And that, again, the purpose of this is so that your vision is constantly in your face. You're remembering it. You've got it. It's there. You just can't run away from it. And step 6, celebrate. Hey, listen, give yourself a high five, pat yourself on the back, reward yourself. You've made a major accomplishment. You have put aside significant intentional time to design the life that you love, that you want to do, your design for your life. So you should celebrate. This is a good time. This is a time to feel good about what you've done. And I congratulate you too when you get to that point. And it's also a time, because you're feeling so good, it's easier to make the commitment to continue on. Okay, because dreams without the legs to make it everyday reality is just a fantastic daydream. Now, I don't want you to quit your daydream, because we want to put the legs on it. But right now is the perfect time to commit to making your vision become real. So let's summarize these 6 simple, but I believe powerful steps. You want to identify your core values. You want to know them, because they should be all throughout your vision. Your vision should be based upon it. They enhance your vision. You want to look at all parts of your life, because you are multidimensional and there's so many aspects to you. And you want to decide what piece, what part you're going to create your vision for. Thirdly, you want to imagine your future, and you want to take it and feel good about it and have no limiting beliefs about it, and just dream and dream and dream. And then, fourth, you want to write it down, write it out. Make sure that you take all you've thought and put it on paper. There is something psychologically impactful about taking out of your mind and putting it on paper so you see it. Then, if you want to, as you display it with the next step, put it on your laptop, print it out, put it anywhere. It's all good. But write first, then display it and speak it and listen to it, and finally celebrate. Reward yourself because you've taken a major step to creating a fantastic vision. So, next up, we're going to take this vision in April and May. We're going to take the vision and put what I like to call some legs to it. And what that has to do with is goals, creating good goals and action steps, as well as timelines that will take what you've dreamed and put it into reality. And so that'll be our second step. And this is a critical one because it helps you achieve what you've dreamed. In the third session, we'll talk about accountability and how you can create a schedule to stay on track, the best ways to help you with your plan, as well as share tips about taking care of yourself during your journey. I must admit, this accountability and self-care piece I developed later on in my work around vision and creating a personal action plan, because it occurred to me that people often need help in being accountable, staying on schedule, and what happens when I don't want to do it no more. I want to throw it out the window. So we'll talk about those, tips to if you feel that way, which is real, to have kind of bring you back. But the most important thing I've learned through this journey of working with creating a personal action plan and starting out with vision first is that sometimes we don't take care of ourselves as well as we should. And it can be a tough journey with lots of life shifts and changes. So in our last session, we're going to spend some time on learning the best ways to take care of you. And finally, I'd like to leave you with what Oprah Winfrey said. Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Geneva. That was phenomenal. We have a lot of questions here. People are really interested and they vary, and there's some nice.
Can
you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry. I think we're going to lead with a very nice comment from one of our volunteers, Dr. Mary Clark. She just wanted to thank you. She thought this was just a wonderful presentation.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate your feedback.
Yeah. So we have a few questions to get us rolling. Someone asked about the vision statement. Mm-hmm. They noted that could it be either specific or general? And if you would clarify a little bit more about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find that your vision statements that are general, free-floating, non-limiting are the best, because remember, the next venture in this are your goals. So you'll get that specificity in your goals. But I think the main thing to do is to make sure that your vision isn't so tight that you limit your possibilities. Because one of the things vision gives us is endless possibilities and fearless opportunities. So that would be my advice.
Okay, great, great. We actually have a person who says that they are a caregiver. They found this to be a spectacular presentation. This woman is a caregiver for both of her parents. And now, how does she find purpose of my life outside of caregiving for her dear parents?
Mhm. Well, first of all, let me say, I wish you the best, and I know they're tough times, and I know you're doing the best that you can do. And I'm sure your parents are grateful for your care for them. Um, one of the reasons why I was just so excited in talking to Brenda about doing this first, that is creating a vision, because it's one part of a personal action plan, starting with it, is because it does give you the chance to dream and think. And I know when you're taking care of someone, as I was watching my husband, just fade away, it was really tough. And so I would squeeze out those moments. And sometimes they're just little bitty pieces of time where I would go away and just take a deep breath, meditate, and think about my life. Because the thing about it is your life goes on. And so to begin to think about, how you can do that. So some of these steps, particularly the third one about just daydreaming. And you might want to just write down your daydreams and then come back to them. But you can find the time, because you should be finding, Brenda, I just want to say this. I think you should do everything to find the time, to take care of yourself. Anyway. And so if you grab that piece of time, try to throw in some dreaming.
Okay. We have a couple of more questions. One person asked that they went through a separation after 20 years of marriage at age 59. Now, 3 years later, that person is not sure where to go with their future. So they're asking, can you give them a little guidance on where to go with their future?
Yeah, again, I would start at saying to myself, okay, I don't know what's next. I don't know what's uncertain, but what I can do is make a plan. Any of us can make a plan. Okay. We can grab a pen, a paper, start scribbling. We can make a plan.
That's true.
And that's what I would do. And the plan may change. In fact, it often does. I remember when I finally got off my knees and, just tried to move through the grief and everything. What got me through was I said, let me sit down. Let me just sit down and make a plan. And that first plan was crazy. I didn't know what I was doing. It was crazy, but I kept trying to do it and do it. So try to, I say, make a plan and take care of yourself. And then also, Brenda, remember that it doesn't have to change all at once.
Okay. So the plan is, part of having a successful plan is just to keep at it, keep getting up. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Listen,
and it's tough.
We've heard a lot about making the plan. So now that you have heard about making a plan, we have one last poll question for you. And that question is, given what you've heard, will you now proceed to make a plan with a vision, not just a plan with a vision? Is that a yes or a no? Okay. And while people are answering that question, what we'd like to do is get a little bit more information from you, Dr. Geneva. We've had quite a few ask about your book. Tell us about your
Okay.
books and where they can get them.
All right. And then I want to say we got another poll question that asks, which of the steps do you feel is most helpful in creating your vision? So if you would answer that too. Again, we really want to get your engagement, your thinking about this. So we have that question as well.
Okay.
Okay, well, I have two books I'll talk about.
Okay.
One is Justice on the Jersey Shore. It's a book about my dad and his struggle for social justice and civil rights in a small town in Neptune, New Jersey. He wanted to buy a home for his family and was told that he could not because of the color of his skin. And he didn't feel that was right. He had been in the army. He had been a hero, a basketball hero in his hometown. He had a good wife and he was doing good things. He had a good job. And he just felt that that was wrong. So he spent the next 3 years through death threats and hate mail and crosses on our lawn, fighting, took the case all the way to the Supreme Court of New Jersey and won. And I tell his story as a daughter asked her father, what were you feeling? What was it like? How did you do it? And I was looking to really get insight into leadership and courage and perseverance. And we were writing it together. He then, as I mentioned, he passed, though he did see the final draft and he felt it was good. And so that is a story, a daughter's recount of the transformational work that her dad and mom did in fighting injustices and in believing in the American dream. And then my other book is Living Life Over 50.
All
And
right.
yes, indeed. And I talk about a vibrant life. How do you figure out what to do next? Dating, how you can feel about yourself. And both of those books you can get on Amazon.
Okay. All right. You are truly living an exciting life and disrupting aging all
Ooh.
along the way. We really appreciate you. I have a few more comments. Someone says, I made a crazy plan and executed
Oh,
it. Now that plan is driving me crazy because I question it every day. Help.
okay. Okay. My first thing is change it. Change it. Hey, fail quick, change fast.
Okay.
Okay. So if it didn't work out, okay, change it. And today, use this process that I've laid out for you. And, I don't know, for example, did you develop your plan based on your core values, what you believed in? Sometimes this is a very important step. We forget, we just kind of, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. But we
Okay.
forget to ask ourselves, well, what really matters deep in our soul? So change it, and it's okay. And try anew, and try some of these steps. And
Okay. Okay.
I'm
All right.
seeing,
We've got poll.
yes,
Go
poll
ahead.
results, huh?
Poll results. We're going to move on to those because we're getting near our end of our time. And so the first poll was, do you have a plan with a vision? Dr. Geneva, 63% of our audience said no. 37% said yes.
Okay. All right. Well, again, I hope that today would be helpful to you. Let me just say this, Brenda. I spent, as a young girl, my training was in community organization and social planning. And so I spent many years working with individuals in the community, organizations, institutions, and they all needed a plan. Everybody, every institution and corporation needed a plan. And every single one of them started with a vision. And this what I want to be. And I took these years, and as I worked and helped people create community change, we always started with a vision.
Right.
Always started with a vision.
Okay.
Start your life with a vision. So if you don't have one, that's why I wanted to give you some simple steps. And trust me, when you go through these steps, and also, Brenda, I wanted to say about one, if we get a chance, about the core values one. But when you go through these steps, trust me, you are going to have this vision. And then our next 2 sessions will get you to your personal action plan.
Okay.
They will.
I hope that was helpful to our audience to be able to hear that. So we have another poll. What do you feel is the greatest benefit of developing a vision? 66% said clear direction and purpose. 20% said designing the life you choose. And renewed energy and confidence came in at 8%, and the others came in at 6%. What do you have to say about that?
Hey, right on. I mean, I do think, vision really gives you that meaning. I know for me, it just helped me so much understand that as I reinvented myself, that I first had to understand my purpose and what would give me meaning in life. And to find that, I dreamed about a vision, and I dreamed being here with you. It was one of those things because I wanted to share what I think is such an impactful way to live your life.
Right.
So I feel good about that.
Okay, audience, our final poll. Which of the steps do you feel is most helpful in creating your vision? The results are 25% think that identifying core values is important. Imagining your future was 33%. Okay. Writing it out is 36%. And displaying your vision was 6%. So this is kind of a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Right. Yes. But if you get those top 3, that is, the core values, imagining your future and writing it out, you are so on your way. And Brenda, I wanted to say about the core values, I'm often asked, well, Dr. Geneva, how do you decide and find out what your core values are? Let me tell you how you do it. I did give you some tips, but the first step is you Google values. And let me tell you, you Google values, core values, you're going to see list after list after list. Some will give you 50, some will give you 100. I even saw one that says 500. So these are words that describe, words and phrases that describe values. That's all you need to do. You Google it. You take it, and then you go through that and you figure out your top 10, then your top 3. It is such an important process to go through. I go through it once a year, and I do see some shifts. Most of my top 3 usually remain the same. My top 10, I'll see fluctuations in that. And so it gives me some time to really think about that, Brenda, and what does that mean? And I just think, Brenda, this opportunity to really self-reflect and kind of figure out what it is we want to do, we owe that to ourselves. So, and then writing it down, that's just like journaling. We all know that journaling has psychological, social, emotional benefits.
Yes.
And that's why this writing it out is so very important.
Well, I just want to thank you, Dr. Geneva Williams. This has been phenomenal. If you joined us after we started the program, this feature will be on our Michigan Facebook page. So please revisit it over and over again so that you can capture the information. I am Brenda Price, the Associate State Director for AARP in Michigan. I appreciate you joining us today. I want to thank our special guest, Dr. Geneva Williams. I want to thank our volunteers that are working behind the scenes in the studio that are helping us. And please join us for the second session of this coming up on April 8th, right here, same time, same place, 11 o'clock on Facebook. We want you to register for this. So please go to aarp.org/MI to get the registration information. Thank you for joining us.